Hey everybody, this is Teri. Um, I'm making this video today for those of you who watch me regularly. I don't know if you're going to be able to hang in there, but this video has nothing to do with the transits that are and how they're going to affect you. They have to do with the transits and how they're affecting me, which I think could give you insight in a broader picture of how you can look at your natal chart. So I thought I would just be bold and brave and share my natal chart with you today and show you what's going on when it comes to why I have not created any videos or been available, not just for Easter, for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And while I'm not going to go into the situation and what is actually the earthling muggle points, he did this, she did that kind of situation, I want to show you from a star's perception what I believe I'm being offered when I stand in awareness and I look at my chart as the contract I made with my own soul for its evolution. Okay, so if you want to hang in there with me, here we go. I'm going to start with the South Node, which is my karmic signature of habit. Okay. It is currently in the 12th house in this lifetime at 3 degrees of Aries. It is ruled by Mars, which is in my 7th house, just above the descendant at 27 degrees. The third degree is the Gemini degree, and the 27th degree is the Gemini degree. When we look at the aspect between Mars, oops, let me take this off. Mars is in a loose quincunx. It's a loose one, but it's a quincunx to my South Node. I believe that I am unconscious of sometimes my Mars energy, how assertive I am, how forceful I appear, how strong my words are, how intentional my way of speaking and my mannerisms are. And in that, I'm experiencing a trigger. Okay. My habits, the South Node ruled by Mars, is being triggered by this transit right here. And as I have been initially feeling the assault, and I'm going to literally say assault, of my own bad habits as well as the retrogrades. You can see today Saturn's at 26 degrees of Pisces, the North Node is at 26 degrees of Pisces, and so is Venus. This is all in a loose conjunction to my South Node, as well as Neptune is definitely in a conjunction with my South Node, and so is Mercury. I am in this moment being tasked. How do I show up with my words? What do I know about what I teach? How do I implement through diplomacy and through harmony, not to others, but to myself? How do I want to show up? My nodal structure makes a T-square to Saturn in the house of beliefs. Really, Saturn here is tasking me through this square that's being triggered by this stellium. Am I willing to go through the hard work of remembering what I believe, being aware of my reactions? Again, this Mars action right here, and Mars is making a sextile in my natal chart to Saturn. So there is favorability when I work with these two dynamics in long term, remembering while Mars is in fall in Libra, because Mars has to consider other people and how they respond. In my chart, I believe that I am being tasked with how I show up and match the things that I teach on the internet and through the people I talk to in my everyday work. And Saturn here will offer me reward, but it won't be easy. And it won't be easy because this is the access of service to others and of suffering, of self-undoing, of unconscious habits. It's also an access where the 12th house is not necessarily seen. The planets within that house are usually invisible or feel invalidated in some way, or feel like they always have to acquiesce to something else. So here, my South Node, to be frank, I think it takes on the imprisonment aspect of the 12th house, where through my actions in past lives, when they were harsh and rash, and I took the law into my own hands. That's the thing we don't think about with Libra, is that it rules diplomacy and harmony, peace and fairness, policemen, justice, court systems. So here, in the past, I have not seen how well I might have been right. And in this lifetime, I know for sure that I have been technically right, but my actions did not produce results that had me feel right, quote unquote. So I think what's happening is this stellium here is triggering events outside myself. Restriction. Saturn is representing restriction. Venus, my self-worth has been up. I've been, my money has been thwarted due to other people's, the domino effect, we'll say. And will I go through the hard work of Saturn tasking me, even though it's at 1 degree of Capricorn, it's in the 9th house of your beliefs, of your expansion, of, bringing on a bigger experience within the human dynamic. So am I willing, as this Saturn makes it square to my Saturn, to do the hard work of believing that the disruptions that are keeping me from making material resources right now are actually honing the skills that I need necessary to live my North Node, which is to be of service by creating peace and harmony and balance within myself. Now I'm going to back up a little bit here, because I have this theory about the 6th house, that humans have it wrong, that the 6th house is really a house where we take our talents and our skills and the performance of our 5th house, the things that we love, and we bring those talents into the 6th house. And we use them as representation to others about following the processes to achieve success, which then brings us into that 7th house of Libran harmony and peace. And also, it will bring on good health when you're doing something you love. So what do I love? I love innovative ways of seeing the self. I love helping get down to the nitty-gritty of the psychological things that keep us from seeing our self-worth. And this, to me, is what my North Node represents, is an opportunity to help teach others the 3rd degree through my speech, through my internet, my community, how to create harmony by honoring the self in a way that uses due process. In this lifetime, I am currently going through an experience where I need to wait for governmental agencies to do their process to see the justice that I want. It has been completely Saturnian. It's been going on for, over a year, almost a year and a half, maybe. And not really, I exaggerate, it's a little over a year. And this is not easy for my South Node. It wants action now, and it wants to take action. But my challenge right now is to listen to this stellium and to look at the disruptions as providing more evidence as I stand in leadership to the harmony that requires the patience and the faith that Saturn is asking for. Now, while all this is going on, my moon is in the 1st house of self, in Taurus. My home environment is immensely important to my peace of mind. And at this time, my home is being assaulted. And there we see transit Mars going through my 4th house. And it is opposing Pluto in my 10th house of career. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell you how, when I look at my chart right now, look at, even Chiron is sitting on my ascendant in the 12th house of invisibility. I absolutely 100% believe that I am, while it is not easy, and I am walking through my muggle journey of anger, frustration, of feeling that I'm right and nobody's listening to me. South Node, invisible, the hero that no one sees. or all they see is the warrior, the banshee, the angry one, or how they perceive it. But will I have the tenacity to actually stay the course of what I believe? The first degree is the Aryan degree. So it's been a real couple of weeks. Actually, it's not, but this last couple of weeks has been very trying because it's been reactivated, the situation, by this retrograde. Started in March. Immediately, Venus went retrograde on March 2nd, and the stuff that started happening in the outside world started revealing itself around March 5th or so. And then as Mercury joined the party about a week and a half later, it got even more intense. So this is the reason why I've not been able to literally record anything or do anything. My home has been in complete disruption. It's been under attack by construction workers, and every person who is hired to do work in my home seems to walk in and tell me that they have scorpionic energy. I mean, literally for the last 2 years, look at my seventh house, is Scorpio. Mercury is in Scorpio. My Juno's in Scorpio. I mean, I'm sort of laughing at the absurdity of it. And at the same time, I am so humanly stressed out by it. Now, so here's all this scorpionic energy that's being triggered by whatever, the sun is of this other scorpionic person, because they only ever tell me their birthday. So all I know is that their sun is in Scorpio. Now, at the same time in my chart, look at transit Juno, 28 degrees of Scorpio. Juno, for those of you that aren't aware, is commitment, devotion, marriage. You can see like nuns here. You can see people who will stay married because they think it's the right thing to do. Well, here, transit Juno is demanding that I be committed to my spiritual beliefs and my expansion. And that supports my South Node. Wow, it's being triggered by Saturn's restriction. It's like astrology is so crazy and so amazing. And when I think about, I chose all this crap. I chose to go through these transits. I chose at 65 years old that I would walk through this moment. I chose that I would understand that Chiron has the potential to trigger a serious wound about my self-worth. My Venusian self-worth, 26th degree is the Venusian degree. Those last degrees are challenging because the soul is being tasked to master what it knows. As you go through those first 0 to, let's say, 25 degrees, 22 degrees, maybe, you're still experiencing at various levels. Those last 8 degrees or so, to me, are where the rubber meets the road, and you're being tasked to live your stuff, make it happen, as they say, through your thoughts, through your awareness of your spiritual connection. Everything that's going through my 12th house is tasking me to remember that sometimes disruptions are divinely guided because they are bringing opportunities that would otherwise not be available. When I got my place in Laguna Beach 21 years ago, overlooking the ocean, it was because I lost every material possession I had. And had I had those belongings, I never would have physically fit into this teeny weeny little apartment. So today I share with you a vulnerable chart. It's my chart. It tells you a lot about me and about who I am and how I show up. And I hope that it's helped you be able to look at your chart in a way that is bringing more clarity. Because as I see this, my South Node, which squares my 4th house, as Mars and squaring, well, technically it's trining it and Mars here, but in the, I say that Aries technically squares the 4th house of home. And my home has sort of been under siege. It's super important to me because that's what Taurus does. It likes familiarity. It likes to be home and create a lot of comfort and security. And my security has been interrupted. But will I trust that the divine disruptions are leading me closer to diplomacy? That by using agency, by using the proper channels, the 6th house of process, legal process will I believe that I will be fairly and justly balanced in this situation. And that would be living my North Node. And that would be living and teaching and experiencing through these difficult or seemingly difficult events, bringing a divine experience into play. And that helps me be a better teacher. I hope this was helpful to you all. I also just real quickly want to note that my sun makes a trine to my Chiron. Again, my wound at 22 degrees. And my Mars also does. It's a little bit of a light, loose trine. So as I extract the reward, as I keep my eye on evolution, moving into the future, seeing new possibilities, and not letting go of the past, but using the past as a tool to uplift me so I don't walk into the same BS that I've walked into every single frickin' time. Up in, that's my south node. And this Chiron is actually, my natal Chiron is making a sextile to transit Chiron. And I also want to point out that Pluto is making a sextile to my south node, a trine to my north node, and a sextile to Jupiter. So as I withstand the squares, the disruption, and I fight, and I literally mean fight myself and my old habits to find the spirituality, the divinity, to understand the psychology of myself and others, and to see the deeper layers of why people are douches, dirtbags, mean, nasty, reactionary. I become more powerful. So I talked a lot about myself, pretty vulnerable if I think, but I can't help it. I want my challenges to be not lessons that I had to endure, but tools to sharpen and hone my skills and make me more powerful and more intentional and more co-creative. So hope you liked. Hope you'll share. I hope you'll come back for more. And I'll be back sooner than later, I hope. Bye.